Welcome back to GoodKnit Kisses. I'm your host Kristen, and today we are putting together the new adjustable hat loom from KnittingBoard. And this is like no other hat loom you have ever seen from KnittingBoard. They have never had a specific hat loom, and this is 4 looms in one. And this can supplement your loom collection tremendously. This is not going to be like a normal regular review from me. And as many of you know, I'm not paid to give reviews or do any videos from people specifically, especially from loom manufacturers. I am bringing this to you if I like it, and I will show you the ins and outs. So this particular one I love. I get a thumbs up. Woohoo! So let's get started. I've already put together a loom for you. Now this is the loom that qualifies as their extra small, and you can make 4 different looms out of this, and they don't have to be just for hats, but we are going to show you the different gauges possible and how to build them. Okay, well, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the loom. It's going to come in a clamshell, in this clear clamshell that's inside the cardboard box, and you're also going to get a nice instruction pack. And this is such a small, simple brochure. It comes in 3 different languages, but I'll tell you, it is so easy, and there's not, it seems like there's not much information in here, but it's jam-packed with information. It's going to show you all the different connectors and what they all mean, but I'm going to break it down to you. You know, a lot of times different looms, we have our own language with the different looms, and so I'm going to show you what that language is. Now I've disassembled this loom, and I'm going to show you how to put it together, but I'm showing you that this is a small gauge loom and a large gauge loom. This one right here is put in with all the pegs, and it is a 3/8 inch spacing. It is the same as their all-in-one loom and also the Sock 2 loom. So if you have patterns that will work on those, you can also use it on here. And we're showing this without it, and it's going to be 3/4 inch spacing on this one. This is the large gauge. So on here you would want to use a bulky yarn. Okay, so you're going to want to use something bulky on here, or you can use multiple strands of a worsted weight yarn. Okay, and then this one right here, you're going to use a worsted weight yarn. So those are the different kind of yarns that are recommended. Okay, and then obviously you can make your own choices. So let's get into the vocabulary of it. The semicircles are going to be called rounded parts. This one and this one. And in other areas it might actually call it section, but this is a rounded part, quote unquote, and this is also a rounded part. The rest of these are, they look similar, but they're not. If you notice that the rounded parts and all of these pieces right here, these are called rails. Okay, this is an 11 peg rail, this is a 9 peg rail, and this is a 3 peg rail. And these all have these male connectors, male ends on them. These 4 pieces here are called connectors, and they have kind of a female side. The unique thing about these connectors are, they are mirror images of each other. They're reversible. So see, there's a groove on this side and there's a groove on this side. There's no way that you can get these in wrong. They also have this really cool feature with a releasable button. Okay, that helps to release the loom from and disengage it from being connected. They also, on the connectors, the large gauge pegs in here are completely molded into this unit here. And the middle one has the D-shaped peg acceptor. This is the hole for the peg. And just to show you how these snap in so easy, you're going to make sure, and you can't match it up with your groove because, like I said, they're reversible. This one the peg does not have grooves on 2 sides. So you want to make sure and look at the shape of your peg and pop it in the correct way. Okay. See, it won't go in that way, so you're going to turn it the other way. All right, see how that is? So you're going to make sure that the groove is on the rounded side, and you hear it just pop right in. Okay, and that makes that a small gauge. And then for your next one, you're going to take it and pop it into place. Okay, and then you're going to get your different pieces. Now, to make the small hat, you're going to want to use 2 rounded pieces and 2 connectors. That's it. You don't need anything else. On all the other hat looms, you're going to use all 4 connectors. Okay, and then for the small hat, I'm sorry, the extra small was the one I just said was this 2 rounded and 2 connectors, but the small is 2 rounded, 4 connectors, and these 3 peg rails. So all you're going to do is when you move up to the medium, you're going to take these out, substitute them for the 9, or if you want the large, you can go to the 11 pegs. So you're going to take out the 9 and go for the 11. So that's how you're going to get your different hat sizes. It's really simple. So this is going to be small is going to be, I'm sorry, extra small is this. Okay, small is going to be this. Medium is going to be this. And large is going to be this. So these are the pieces that you would use to make like a man's hat or a very larger head, and it's going to fit a circumference of approximately 23 inches. If you want to do a 20-inch circumference hat, you would use the 9 peg extenders. Well, I'm sorry, I'm using my wrong words for the wrong loom, but these are the rails, the 9 peg rails. And if you want it approximately 18-inch, you're going to use the 3 peg rails and then the 4 connectors. And so this is 18-inch. And then if you want to do a 14-inch, which would be, if you use a really tight stitch, you could do a preemie, but it would definitely do a newborn size, up to say 3 months. If the baby was small, maybe up to 6 months. So it's like a 14-inch head, and then you just knit a longer hat length depending on how old the baby is, or if you want to fold the brim up even more. So we're going to go ahead and put these together. I'll show you the small one for now, or the extra small for now. So this is the one that you saw me with before. And I'm just showing you with all of these in here, and then I'll put in the small pegs so you can see me actually do it. And then this is your little bag with extra pegs, and I have more on the side here. So like I said, that this is reversible, but now that I've actually got my pegs in here, you can tell which way we're going to put it. So we always want to put our grooves on the outside of the loom. Okay, so here, we're going to let you hear it. Okay, I'm pushing pretty hard and it's popping in. All right, and I'm gonna come on the other side and make sure all my grooves are facing out. Okay, got it snapped in. All right, now we're gonna pop this in. Okay, now I'm gonna tug on this. I'm gonna show you what it does. Let's first I'm gonna twist it. I'm probably using 5 to 10 pounds of pressure. I'm really I'm actually doing this. I'm twisting it. I just want you to see how strong this is. Now I'm gonna pull on it. Now I might hit my camera, but it will work, but I'm just gonna show you. I'm actually flexing my muscles quite a bit to get it to go, and see how it popped out. Now that's not the manufacturer recommended way to pull it apart, but I just wanted you to see how much that would pull. Once you get knitting on here in the round, it's gonna be even stronger. But these pegs are not going to be pulling out. Now to show you, you can pull the pegs out. Okay. Now this one just popped right out. That one popped right out, except if I just went up to it and just kind of barely, if I pulled on it barely, it doesn't pull out. If I pull a little harder, it still isn't pulling out. If I pull pretty hard, that's pulling out. But this one I just messed with a whole lot, but really it still gives it some good tug. So really, all in all, these are really staying in very well. There's another adjustable loom on the market that is also a plastic loom, and it doesn't have near the trials that one had. It's also very soft and easy to hold. There's no rough edges. I'm going to put all these pegs in here, but I do want to show you how to release it before I put everything in here. So there's this button on the back, and you're just going to press it in and then pull gently, and that pulls it right out. And then you're just going to go ahead and do it on the other side. Press the button, and I'm pressing firm, and then just kind of pull it out. And so that safely removes it, and then you can do the same again and wiggle and pull. Okay, and so you can see these connectors here. So it's a nice sleek design. And let's go ahead and put in the pegs so you can see me snap them in. And again, make sure all of your grooves are facing to the outside. I don't like to compare brand to brand or say the brand name, but if you know them on the market, you'll know that there's another brand out there, and they don't snap in. They just kind of glide in. These all have this extra little bubble on the end to snap in. Okay. In the book, it also will tell you approximate lengths to knit the hats. Just keep in mind that they are approximate, but it also gives you a chart on approximate yardage that you'll need, so that's helpful. And know that your brim may vary. Okay, so we have got our extra small set up. Again, you're going to have the two rounded parts, 1, 2, and then 2 of the connectors. Now you can make your regular rolled brim hat where you don't do anything. You can make a hemmed brim where you pull it up and put it back on. You can also do a ribbed brim. If you want to do a ribbed brim where you have 2 knits and then 2 purls, you know, and then you have this nice ribbed brim, I'll show you one. So if you want to have a rib that has 2, which this one's like, if I had 2 of them lined up and then 2 purl lined up, that would be that. Or you can do 1 by 1s, like this is a 1 by 1. This is 1 rib, one knit row, and then 1 purl row. You can do all of them that way because they're all divisible by 2. But if your loom count has a divisible peg count by 4, you can do a 2 by 2 where you have 2 knits and 2 purls. So this one right here is a 1 by 1. And then what I've already done for you is I've figured out which ones can get the 2 by 2. I mean, get the 2 by 2s. There is a little chart, and it shows you I don't want to show you everything that they have in here, but it basically tells you what numbers they are. And I took all these numbers and divided them up by 4. And I'll tell you that the, let's see. Okay. It's hard to see on here on the camera, but I'll tell you that the extra small will do 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 perfectly, whether it's small gauge or large gauge. The small one, okay, the small shape or small hat will do 1 by 1 in both the small gauge and the large gauge, but in the 4 by 4 it will not do it in the large gauge. All the small gauges will do a 2 by 2 ribbing. So on the medium is also, you can do the 2 by 2 and 1 by 1 ribbing. And then in the large, again, you can still do the small gauge with the 2 by 2, but the large you can't do a 2 by 2. So basically these two on top of each other, the small and the large sizes, cannot do the 2 knit 2 purl, what I'm calling a 2 by 2 ribbing. So other than that, you can do a 1x1 ribbing on all of it. I think that should answer most of those questions. Again, this is going to be your large gauge. I'm sorry, this is going to be your small gauge loom. And then if you take all these gray pegs out, see, they're pretty hard to get out. And I really want you to see me actually do this in real time. I'm really pulling on them. If your hands are sensitive, you might have someone else do this for you, or put on a glove or something. But I gotta tell you, having a loom hold them in there tight is more preferable to me than having them fall out. Almost done. Okay. Okay, that is still the extra small. You can see I have pretty large hands. I'm actually 6'1", and mine are like kind of man hands, but still, I mean, it's comfortable to me and it's nice and soft. I'm gonna go ahead and release this, and we're gonna pull one of the rounded off, okay? And I'm gonna leave this connector in here. Okay, so I still have this connector here. Now what I want to do is I'm going to show you how big it is at the biggest. Okay, so we're going to use the large, which is, they're calling this an 11 peg extender. Just remember, the largest one is the largest one. Okay, and notice if I line this up here, it will fit into this connector, but it won't fit into this rounded part. So this is a rail and it has to have a connector. So I have 2 more connectors. So this is what I mean. All the other hat sizes, except for the extra small, all take 4 connectors. So just go ahead and, you want to pop them in, but see what I was doing. You've got the grooves, so make sure and spin it around so that the grooves are on the outside. So now that's connected. This one, I'm going to flip it around. Grooves are on the outside. Okay. And we're just snapping away. And again, you don't have to worry about how it's facing on the connectors. All right, and so now you've got your large gauge loom. Again, the spacing between the center peg to the center peg is 3/4 of an inch, and you can use a bulky yarn on here. And if you want to make it in the 3/8, you go ahead and put in 1 in every slot there in the hole. I have a small sample, and it's very small, of a sample that I knit up. I did it in the small gauge, and I did it with a unit stitch. This is Red Heart Red Heart Soft, and it's a worsted weight, and you can tell it looks very nice. I've got a rib down here. See, I've got 2 pearls, 2 knits here, 2 pearls, and 2 knits on the end, of course. Anyway, it feels nice. It's not too gappy or anything like that. It's just a good hand and weight. I have not got to test it out on the bulky yet, but I did test it on the small because I wanted to be able to test it with all the pegs in there. So I can't wait for new patterns to come out and be able to create some for you. Again, if you have patterns for 3/8 gauge, or if you have another large gauge loom pattern, you should be able to convert them relatively easy. So thank you again for joining us at Goodknit Kisses. I hope you get to try this one out. It is a very good alternative to using a one of your other looms out there that are the large gauge looms, because then you can go down to the small gauge. So this would be a really good one for your tool bag, and it's small enough to fit in a purse or a bag for travel. Thanks again. We'll see you later. Have a great day and happy looming. Bye-bye.